Everybody doing all right? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Everything's good here.
Excellent. I'm just trying to help Marty get logged on. So just give me a minute.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Mike, what's up?
Same old. Mute myself here because my dogs are going crazy.
Hey, Brandon, it's Denise. You're getting a lot of noise. I think it's from yours. You're getting a lot of background noise to everybody else.
Let me see what I can do with that.
Yeah, I think it's coming from yours.
I like. That better?
Yeah, that's better. You were getting someone's TV channel or something coming through.
Yeah, my daughter's listening to her programs.
I
Thank you for
figured that,
that.
but in case someone changed their thing, I'm going to be listening in. So if I don't participate later, you guys know I usually do, but I'm actually on vacation and I'm working at the same time.
Enjoy.
What kind of vacation is that?
So on a vacation, yeah, it's been a working vacation, but it's been a little warmer here in Sarasota than in Woodbury.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right.
All right, like I said, I'm just waiting to hear from Marty to see if she can get online. I'll give her another minute or two if you guys don't mind. Just being new technology for some
That's fine.
people. She is aware of the meeting. She is trying to get on, so. Marty says it's not letting her join the meeting.
Brandon, there should be a call-in number. She could also just call in. I think when it was set up,
Yeah, I got it here. That the 646, right?
She's getting in
876?
right now. I see her.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. You there, Marty?
Anybody hear me?
I got you, Joe.
Okay, we're good then. Thank you. Okay, we're good. All right.
All right, I think that's everybody, right?
Marty is, she's muted. Does she know how to unmute?
Who's that?
Marty,
Marty, can you just check in by clicking the unmute button, please? Just so we know that you can talk when you want to. Marty?
hey Brandon, just in case she doesn't know, why don't you tell her how to do it?
Marty, if you can see, there's on the bottom left, if I don't know if you're on the computer or on your phone, there should be a mute, and then it might say mute or unmute. You want to click unmute. And there should be a video, stop video button.
Brandon, I sent her a text.
Me too.
Okay. And I text her son to help her if he's home.
Yeah, she's got to move the cursor to the bottom left. She might be looking and not see it. It doesn't pop up in Zoom. It doesn't pop up unless you hover over it.
So I don't know if she's looking for a little picture of a microphone in red. It shouldn't be red.
Yeah, but Willis, she's having trouble getting to the unmute button.
That is the mute button.
Yeah, but she's got to move her cursor down to the lower left and the screen will pop up for her to unmute it. Actually, Brett, if you're the host, you might actually have privileges to unmute her.
All I can do is ask her to unmute, but until she actually
Okay,
does, I
yeah,
can't.
I wasn't sure how the town's set up, but on some cases you can.
Go now.
Marty, is
There
that work?
it is. There she is. I hear her.
All right, Marty,
All right.
you stay just like that. Hi.
There you go.
I'm not gonna move.
Dyslexic. Got it.
Give me my old phone.
I want a 3-hour call out for that.
Yeah, you and me both, Phil.
Go watch TV.
All right, we all set then?
I believe so.
All right, so I'm gonna officially call this meeting to order. Like to ask everybody to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll have a moment of silence for the 17 people who perished in the Bronx apartment building fire 9 days ago, including 8 children, some as young as 2 years old. I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the
to the
republic
republic for which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
One
nation,
nation,
under
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 God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice.
for all.
Now I lost yous again. Oh, there you are.
All right, thank you. You good, Marty? All
I'm good so far.
right, stay just like that.
I'm not moving.
All right. All right, let's do a roll call. Committee members, Marty,
I'm here.
Willa,
Here.
Martha,
Here.
Brad,
Here.
Mike,
Here.
and Phil.
Here.
All right, and Brad, thank you for setting this up through the Zoom meeting. Appreciate that, all right?
No problem.
I'd like to welcome our 2 new members, Mike Luongo and Brad Cassidy. So welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks very much for being for this.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I'd like to get a motion acceptance for the minutes from the November 16th, 2021 meeting. Everybody have a chance to review it? Look good to me.
Yep, fine.
Can I get a motion, please?
I'll motion it.
Martha with the first,
Second.
since Phil with the second. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the park director's report. Joey?
Excuse me. I apologize. I have a cold, as some of you know. We are, as of Parks right now, we sent out some emails for lifeguards, gatekeepers, security. We sent letters out to the people that were here last year. We're looking for a whole bunch of new people. We're gonna need a whole bunch of lifeguards. So we've sent out, like I said, for camp counselors, directors, stuff like that. That's kind of where we are with the parks. We're just, ready to get going, because before you know it, it's going to be March and we're going to be moving along. Friends doing all that. And we just send emails out as they come in. That's where we are with the parks.
How's the response been so far? Okay.
We got a couple back. The kids, it takes a while. A lot of them still in college. They'll come home for the break and then they'll start sending them in. But we know probably 20 are definitely coming back from just word of mouth. But like I said, they're in college, and once they get home, they'll start setting this stuff.
Okay. Town board liaisons report. I don't see anybody on here right now. I know they're still working that out, so I guess we'll skip through that right now. Business. I have the couple events that we had. Obviously, we didn't have the December meeting. The first one was the Winter Wonderland Light Ceremony, which was on December 4th. Was beautiful. I hope everyone got an opportunity to go down there and check it out. Big thank you to Maria Hunter and the beautification committee for getting that done. I don't think I've ever seen a reindeer that big in my life. So it was really nice. It really lit up, by the lake. And again, I hope everyone had a chance to go check it out.
Brandon, can I interrupt?
Yep.
Buildings and grounds, please don't forget the buildings and grounds department on that.
Okay. Yep. Thank you for the buildings and grounds too. Anyone else I'm missing that participated in that, Joe?
No, that's those are the people that took care of it. So just want to give them the shout out too.
Excellent. Thank you for adding that. There was the holiday party at St. Patrick's on December 11th.
I'm sorry. Do we actually, more than just how many of us there are on this Zoom, do we send them a note or something to really acknowledge that appreciation? Otherwise, they have to read the minutes to know we thank them. So
Rat'll tell them. There you go. They've been told already, but we could tell them again that we could tell them tomorrow.
All right,
Okay.
thank you, Joey. There was a holiday party at St. Patrick's on the 11th. I was unfortunately unable to attend. I don't know if anybody went, and I heard a lot of good things about it. I heard it was a fun time. So that was another thing. And then we had the New Year's Eve ball drop, which was a lot of fun. The parade was great. The cars looked amazing. The face painter line was long and long and long. I think that whenever we do an event, we should get a few of those because it was very popular part of the event. The food was great. Vernick did a great job with the music. People were dancing. I saw a few of your friendly faces there, so thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for Buildings and Grounds for setting that up, and the subcommittee that participated in it. So great job by everybody that was involved in it. And the thank you for We Are Woodbury for the parade. That went really well. There was a couple of things I got some feedback on. The bathrooms were a situation. People had a hard time with that and the parking, but that's stuff that we can work on, for the next one next year. Hopefully we're blessed with the same kind of weather that we had for that particular day. It was absolutely gorgeous for December 31st. Anyone else with any old business?
I have a question about the beautification, not the beautification, I'm sorry, the blessings box. Now that there's snow,
Mhm.
do we know if anybody's using it, and are we leaving things out there to freeze? What's the
I'll
status?
pass that question on to Martha. Martha, you have any information on that?
I haven't been out there because I have been home quarantining. Today is actually my last day quarantining, so I can take a ride out there and take a look at what's in there. There shouldn't be anything that's freezing during the winter. It should only be like grains and pasta, things that don't freeze. It shouldn't be anything in bottles, of course, ever. So I'll take a look, and whatever is there that can freeze, I'll remove and then bring back in the spring.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that.
Anybody else? Okay, move on to new business. Obviously with the two new members here, we And with Ray leaving, we do have the chairperson vacancy. So we're going to open up the floor to anybody that's interested in the position. Any
Well,
nominations?
I nominate Brandon.
Thank you.
If anybody else wants to do it, put their name in the hat.
I mean, I have no problem being the chairperson.
Anyone else? All right, so got Brandon and Mike. All right, so Joey, how do we do this? We just put it to a vote, numbers?
Well, if you really want to get technical, somebody has to nominate Mike, can't nominate himself, and Marty can't nominate two people. So, you know, if you want to do it technically, then that's the way to do it. Somebody has to nominate Mike. He can't, you know, he can't nominate himself. So,
Okay,
Well, I'll nominate Mike just to make this more confusing.
there you go.
Thank you.
all
Brett.
right.
Well, now it's got
All
to
right,
come
so
down
we'll put-
to a vote.
All
Well,
right, so-
maybe, wait, well, I mean, if we're really doing this right, maybe each of
Yeah.
you should talk a little bit about what you think the future of the Parks Committee should be, what it should look like. I mean, something to give us some help as to how to vote.
Mike, the newest member, go ahead, buddy.
So yeah, I mean, I've, you know, been involved in the community since I got here in 2008. I mean, I've, you know, dove right in. I mean, I love the whole sports aspect and working with the kids. I mean, I've coached everything from football to baseball to soccer to basketball. I have my own travel basketball program that I have for my son and his kids. So those types of things, you know, I really enjoy. You know, I also have my own nonprofit that I started. I mean, that, you know, raises, you know, money for sports equipment in areas of need. I also collect used equipment and, you know, get that to areas that need it. So those types of things, especially for kids, I think the more activities and stuff that we have for kids, you know, it's going to keep kids out of trouble. It's going to give kids stuff to do. And also just in the light of COVID, I mean, if anything, it's taught us really to kind of put our own personal health and stuff at the forefront. So making sure that there's a lot of programs out there for kids and adults as well, you know, I think is a huge part of what I would want the Parks Department to be.
All right. I haven't been here as long as Mike, but since I've gotten here, I've also participated in a lot of events in town. We do run Woodbury Connections. We started the First Responders Day. We have other events that we're going to probably talk about in the new business after this. You know, I'm trying to really keep everything very open communicated. You know, a lot of open communication, a lot of involvement from not only the Parks Committee, but from the people outside that attend the meetings. Looking to kind of hit the reset button on what we've been doing, start fresh, get a fresh calendar, restructure it, make sure everything's very open, very fluid, that people know exactly what we're doing here. You know, a big thing that's been going on, and I've heard it mentioned a few times at some of the meetings. You know, we want to be, we want to know when people ask us questions. You know, I mean, we want to be informed. We want to be able to let the community know exactly what the parks is doing, have the information, and be able to present it to the community. I want to work on collaborating with the person who runs the Facebook page to get more information out there, more events, more pictures. Communication is really going to be necessary in the coming year. You know, 2022, we don't know what to expect. And I want to keep it as open as possible. You know, anyone has any questions, we should be able to lean on each other and work together as a whole, and really just remain neutral and keep the parks, as beautiful as the res itself. Anybody else? Okay. So I guess we'll put to a vote now.
You can definitely vote yes. If people are comfortable voting, usually we don't do a Zoom meeting, we have it and people write things down and that's how it goes. But if
Yeah.
people are comfortable talking out loud about it, that's fine.
Is everybody comfortable with talking out loud with it?
Fine with it.
I'm fine.
Mhm, sure.
Sure.
All right. We'll start with Phil.
I guess I'll throw my vote to Brandon.
Martha.
Brandon,
Now, Joey, since Brad nominated, is that a vote? Like, how does that work?
He still has to vote
Brad, go ahead, bud.
and Brad has to vote yes.
I nominated Mike, so I'll vote for Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Brad.
You're welcome.
Marty,
Since I nominated Brandon,
Willa,
Brandon,
okay. Am I missing anybody? Do we vote for ourselves, Joe, or no?
It doesn't, you have four, you have four votes. You have four votes, there's 7 people, so you're good. So.
Congratulations,
All
Brad.
right.
For real.
Thank you very much, everybody.
congratulations, friend.
I'll be sending an email out with all of my contact information, phone numbers, etc. My phone will be open to anybody that has an idea, wants to get together, you want to meet up. Like I said, I really want to hit the reset button and get this all ironed out. I want to be humming, like a well-oiled machine.
I have a question.
Oh,
Since
Martha.
you keep talking about setting the reset button. Joey,
Yes,
when I first came on board, I had asked a question about like a welcoming packet of some sort or something that tells new members exactly what it is that our responsibilities on the board are, what we oversee, what, just the great big picture of what it is that we should be doing and what our goals should be. I was told that there was a packet that used to be circulated, but I never saw that packet. And if there isn't one together, is that something that we can work on? So that in the future, anyone that comes on board, they know exactly what it is that is required of them as being part of the board.
that's something that should be discussed with you guys. Now that you're a park committee, not a commission, the wording has changed a little bit. So I believe there was something when it was a commission and there was a whole big packet. I don't know, will it be able to take a page and a half of what the duties are? But now that it's a committee, that has shrunk down. But it's something that I guess hopefully in the near future we can meet in person and we could put something together for that. But the committee and commissioner have a little bit different wording. So that's something we could work on.
Oh,
I think what Martha's asking for something beyond what we used to have. Like how many parks do we have and, how often do we meet and what are some of the past things we've done?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that, oh, all right.
We had this discussion. It just got lost in the cracks. Because
We
I'm
can work- we-
really busy,
I'm sorry,
Joey, and I
Linda.
think you and I were going to work on something like a little handbook or, more just kind of like Martha says, really the lay of the land. What does it mean? Who are we? What is our contact information? A little booklet
It sounds
together.
like Martha wanted something even a little deeper with than that. Am I correct, Martha?
Yeah, anything that can be given to us for us just to know what our responsibilities, like you said, Willa, also what we oversee, what our responsibilities are. coming up with programs, coming up with whatever it is that we should be doing. I think it laid out there so that there's no surprise, because especially with programming, I think that that's important, because Mike, you even suggested, programs for children also, I think that we need to know what exactly it is that we should all do. If it's programming, well, then we all need to jump on board, and we all need to start coming up with some ideas on what we should do to make the community get more involved in our parks, to have the park attendance increase.
I totally agree. Like I said, I think it just got lost in the cracks, because we had talked about that before. Martha, if it's okay with you and if it's okay with Brandon, why don't you and I just, put our heads together, come up with something brief, and then show it to Joey, because making you do all this work, Joey, is, it's unnecessary. I
Thank
think.
you. I'll help with anything I can help with.
Yeah, because I think we can get something started and then bring it to the committee for next month, and then flesh it out till we come up with something that we can really use as like an orientation.
I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. You must have been reading my mind, Willa and Martha, and then,
Well, Martha has to agree. I just volunteered her.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
all right, excellent. Make it
Now,
all-
I'm sorry, and I'm sorry if I'm gonna talk a lot now, but I also, talking about like some of the programming that I think that we should bring to the parks, when is a good time for me? Because I don't know, because Mike and Brad, I just came on board last month, so I don't know anything either. I'm learning as I go. But when do we start discussing like some of the ideas that we have as
You can start right now.
Yeah, I can. Okay, I have a couple, so please be patient with me. There's two things in particular that I think, Mike, you would be, if the committee agrees, I think that you would be so helpful with, because my two Pablos had wanted to come, Pablo Squared wanted to come before the board, but Pablo's currently playing a game, and Daddy Pablo is at St. Pat's in the meeting. So they wanted to discuss tournaments.
Oh.
Like, Mike, you already have.
That's why I love Pablo.
Yes. So Pablo was like, please discuss tournaments for me, because I would love to work with Mike and bring tournaments to the park. He says, because Mike has already laid out the foundation with bringing the kids to the clinic, but now what do? We should expand on that and offer, we have 3 parks, right? So now we have the Res, Berkeley, that's what it's called?
Berkeley.
And the pool, right? So those are 3 parks that we can offer tournaments at. And I think alone, just with the kids in Woodbury, we would have, you see, your clinics are completely full. I think that would be something really great that, we can offer the kids in this community. And I think it would be great for Pablo Squared to work with you, Mike. Because I don't know basketball. I pretend I know, but.
Well, you don't have a choice living with them.
Martha, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm taking notes. So who is Pablo? Pablo Squared or Mike?
Oh, my son and my husband.
Oh, okay.
I'm married to a Puerto Rican man. There was no way I wasn't gonna call my young son Pablo.
I just wanted it for the notes. Thanks.
Okay, and then the other thing, still along that route, right? The sports route, Summer Olympics. I think that offering Summer Olympics would be really wonderful. And it doesn't have to just be basketball. It could be whatever summer, again, Mike, this is your area of expertise, right?
Swimming, baseball, basketball.
So it can be so many things, but I think that bringing Summer Olympics would be a wonderful asset to our parks as well. You know, we can have like opening ceremonies and participation in various activities, even like obstacle courses, field games, bikes, running, any of that stuff, I think would be fantastic. We have the space, we really need to utilize it.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's such a good idea. I mean, you could do a million things with that, and that's a really, really good idea. And I think if we all put our heads together, we could come up with something pretty cool, I think.
I think so. I honestly think so. And again, you know, I would bow out and I would leave it to you. It was just a suggestion that I have, you know, but I have no problem leaving it to those who are the experts in that field, and that's you. So anything sports related, I'm leaving to you.
I appreciate that.
Then I was thinking, again, I just have like a couple of more. I'm sorry, please.
No, this is what we want to do, Martha. Please feel free.
I was thinking that, you know, this is a big community on animals, right? We all love our animals. We all, you know, a big animal loving community. I was wondering if we should reach out to Tara, to the Tara truck, and maybe offer once a month where they can come into our parks and offer free not free, but low cost neutering and spaying for our local animals. And, you know, even if it's something that we raise money so that we can help all of the cats in the area that everybody seems to catch, you know, so that we can decrease the amount of stray animals in the area. I think that would be a really great idea to call Middletown and ask them if they would consider bringing their Tara truck. And again,
Is that where they're based out of, Martha? They're based
Yeah,
out of
Middletown.
But isn't the Terra truck always in the Walmart parking lot?
Yep.
It used to be.
You're
I
right.
don't see it there anymore,
Okay.
but it used to be there. And like I said, you know, even a lot of people, it's difficult for them, you know, after what, maybe it's something that we can offer on the weekends to come. I don't know I don't know what their scheduling is like, but you know, something that makes it just easier access to our community, you know?
So Martha, just so I'm clear, you're basically what we would be doing is we'd be holding space for the Tara truck. We would be able to give them a space for people in the Woodbury residents to come and do this at the parks.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm suggesting.
Excellent.
Okay. Community garden, like in North Main. Have any of you been to North Main to see their community garden?
No.
Where
No.
and this would be a wonderful tie-in with the food pantry, because and the reason why I thought of it was that one day I was there donating food, and they had mentioned that they barely get any fresh fruits, vegetables, you know, anything fresh, they rarely get, right? So I was thinking, wouldn't it be a wonderful way to start a community garden? And I know there's a guy low in town that had wanted to do it once before.
Done it twice.
Twice.
We've done it
Tell him-
twice. Nobody
tell him,
shows up.
Brad.
Yeah,
And what happened?
nobody shows up. Everybody comes in gung ho that first weekend, and then nobody shows up.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Done it twice. Two different
Spends a lot.
spots.
Is it when was the last time you tried it?
3 years ago with Lionel up at right next to the community center.
Is it possible just to try one more time?
I mean, anything's possible.
But-
I know we
can I
did one down in town, and then we did one up at the
I will
ranch.
tell you that I didn't know. I never even knew that he had tried it before. So maybe it's a matter of like getting the word out more. I don't know. Maybe I had no idea.
You know,
Yeah,
Martha,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
Brad,
Joe.
Yeah,
Martha,
I mean, ultimately, the community garden ends up getting stuck to buildings and grounds, building planter boxes, go get dirt, build a fence around it. And we do all that, and then it's our job to then go take it apart because nobody showed up. And it's just weeds growing all over the place. I mean, is it the hardest thing to do to set it up again? No, we can figure it out. But again, this has been done twice in the
Right.
last, I want to say 7 years, and both times it was a massive failure.
So can I ask if we reach out to the community and ask them if this is something that they would want to do and make it part of a 12-week program? You know what I'm saying? Where the kids come out once a week, 12 weeks, and each week they're learning something new. Where it's not just like you're just gonna go, you're just gonna build it, and then that's it, like you'll come out, you'll weed it, whatever. What sounds really exciting about that, right? But what if we tie it in with some kind of programming, a 12-week program where they're learning a new skill every week? Do you think that that would
Maybe
entice
the,
them?
I know that we have that, the climate, group
Climate
Right,
smart,
that had the
climate smart.
composting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's something we can meet with them and get some feedback. I also know that, I mean, my daughter, we live in Woodbury, but my daughter goes to Cornwall and they're required to get a certain amount of volunteer hours
That's right.
during their
Mhm.
high school career. So I'm wondering if that's something we can incorporate and just let the schools know. I don't, does Monroe Woodbury also do that? Do
Yeah,
have
they
a-
do. I actually,
Okay.
and I actually sign off on the kids through our nonprofits, right? So that's a really great suggestion because maybe I can reach out to the schools and ask the schools if that's something that they would be able to help
Okay,
plan.
so let's, before we ask these fine gentlemen, over in buildings and grounds to start this, why don't we get some feedback? Let's get some response from the community. Let's reach out to the schools. I can reach out to Cornwall. I'll help you out. If you want to reach out to Monroe Woodbury,
Okay.
and find out more information. I'll see who, with the Climate Society, we can reach out to them. And we can just keep exchanging emails and keeping each other up to date as to the progress of that. And hopefully, next meeting, we'll have some more answers. Maybe we can proceed prior to spring with something
Yeah.
like that. But again, I don't want, if we've tried it twice, let's make sure that if we're gonna do it the third time, that it goes over the fence home run.
Right, exactly.
somebody needs to be there every day, not once a week, twice a week. Somebody needs to water every day. Once you start getting vegetables that come up and lettuce or whatever, got to be weeded every day. It's a lot of work. And like I said, Brad said, Bills and Grounds or the town, let's say the town, we spent a lot of money up there making raised flower beds. We put fencing around it. And like Brad was right, they came for a little bit and then it just goes by the wayside. And tomatoes come up late, they go to waste because nobody's taking care of it. It's a great idea, but if you have 10 volunteers, Martha, you need 20 volunteers, because you know what happens with volunteers. Oh, I have to do something today. I'm going on vacation. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So whatever volunteers you think you need, you got to double that, because that's exactly what happens. And just so you guys know, this summer with the pool and the res going to be open together. Bills and Grounds, I know I keep saying it. You guys think I'm partial to them, which sometimes I am, but they're going to be so busy keeping everything together and getting all the parks open. We're not going to have time to go up there and do something. So you need the volunteers to do it. And if you can get the volunteers, it'll be, if it works, like you say, Brandon, it's great. We can give it to the food pantry. Sorry again for my cold, but again, if you think you need 10 volunteers, get 20, because they kind of just
I
fade
just
out.
think on that particular, I mean, she's rattled off a bunch of great ideas. I think we can all agree. Just on this particular one. I think we just need to do a
Yeah,
little
we
more
can hold
research.
off on it. Yeah. we
Yep.
can
Just
hold off on
research,
it.
not hold off.
Right.
We're not holding off.
Okay.
Let's just do some research and see what
Okay.
we can get. You might make some phone calls and you might not get any volunteers or very little. And
Right.
again, as Joey just said, buildings and grounds is gonna have their hands full. We definitely don't want to add to that workload.
Right, we don't want to burden them.
Let's
Okay.
just do some more research on that one. We all agree on that one.
Really, it's not even
Right,
about the
more
work.
research?
Is what ends up happening is it becomes overgrown and it becomes an eyesore. And then people
Yeah.
complain
Right.
about it. And then we're all
Yeah,
like,
we
well,
don't
that's
want that.
that's the community garden. We can't go and destroy it because as soon as we
Right.
pull it out, then people complain, why'd you get rid of the community garden?
Right. No, I get it.
One big difference I will say is that, ever since Corona started and everything, there's been a lot more community involvement. I think we can all agree on that. There's a lot more
Mhm.
people looking to volunteer their time and help out the community. I see posts all the time. I mean, Mike, even when you did your Athletics United, when you got all those presents for all the kids, I mean, it was huge turnout, right? I mean, it was a huge help. So I think there's a lot more volunteer involvement, but again, let's check it out. Let's look into it and we'll have a report for next meeting. You guys okay with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So Martha kind of ran into it. So on the new business was new ideas for events.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. I'll wait till next week. I mean,
Okay, so let Mike, you got any ideas?
Well, Martha already, she already knew clearly what I wanted to do. So especially some of those basketball leagues and stuff, I was definitely thinking along the same lines. I mean, you got the volleyball net there too. It'd be great to maybe even do some, maybe even like an adult type volleyball league or something. I know I was talking to a bunch of people, and I know that a lot of people were throwing around the idea of taking that roller hockey area that we have in the wintertime and seeing if there's a way to fill that thing up with water and, turning that thing into like a ice skating rink, if possible. I think a lot of people had some, they really think that would be a good idea. So I think, and I
That
know
was
that.
brought up at the
Yep.
November meeting.
Oh.
And the big issue with that was the staffing.
Okay.
Because the issue is labor. Security works 8 months a year.
Mm-hmm.
So to add more months means the civil service job then becomes full-time, and that has financial implications for the town. So that was the big implication with that. Joe, do you want to follow up on that? You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, Mike, right now, everybody that gets hired in the summer is summer employees. Under civil service, that means if somebody works 50 hours, a lifeguard or a gatekeeper or something, it's just straight time. You don't get overtime. If we get into that 9th, 10th, 11th month, then the civil service looks at you as a full-time employer of part-time people, which now, if somebody worked overtime, they would get, over 40, they get overtime, which at the end of the season, a lot of our lifeguards, as you guys know, work 6, 7 days a week because we're, kids go back to school. So it would be a lot of money and financial implications. And then you have to find somebody to come in. Again, Bills and Grounds would have to come in after Saturday or Sunday morning, hose it down because, you got to get it smooth again. You don't want nobody getting hurt. We'd have to leave the community center open. You have to hire a couple of staff. So it would become full-time. Our seasonal thing would become full-time, full-time, part-time, full-time work. And then anybody over 40 would start getting overtime. And in the summertime, that would really cripple our payroll. That's
So
the issue.
besides the hockey, what else were you thinking?
Well, just going back to that, is there any way to do that on a volunteer type thing? I mean, because what after the rink's established, what do you need? Just somebody to kind of oversee the.
Well, you need somebody again, you need somebody, I don't want to say some 25-year-old kid or 20-year-old kid's authority, but you need somebody to say, whoa, you guys can't do that. You get somebody volunteering, some young kid's going to say, take a hike. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then what do you have problems? So you need to have some kind of more of adult supervision because kids can be, tell you to, I'm not gonna do it that way. So that's one of the issues. Again, it's something we can think about come September again and see if we could work around that, but that's what I was told from last year. And that's the big issue. It's the monetary part, so.
Okay. Yeah, I think, and then the only other thing that I got some feedback from people was that they were interested in seeing if we could develop some type of like hiking trails and stuff like that. I don't know how we would go about doing things like that.
There is a hiking trail up the rest. It
Yeah.
goes all the way up to the top of Scunnamunk.
I'm sorry, guys. The Troop 4, what's his name? Tim Murphy, his son's I think he was gonna come last year, but something happened. He wants to redo the Red Trail as his Eagle Scout project. So I'm sure this year coming, I'm sure he's gonna come back to the board. And I believe Mr. Fryban is gonna work with them because he goes up there and he knows the trail. So I think Troop 4 is gonna at least do the Red Trail. He wants to do as an Eagle Scout project. So that trail will be taken care of. So I think we got that. There is another trail there, but the Red Trail is the one they're gonna concentrate on.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey, Brandon, what trail was that we went on?
That was the Red Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to shimmy down the cliff?
Oh
No,
my
we
gosh.
didn't make it up to the top. I stepped on a bee's nest underground and we ran.
Oh, my God. All right. Yeah, Michael, just for your information, my husband does a lot of hiking up there. So 2 meetings ago, he came and asked the same question, if he could work with somebody, and then Joey's gonna kind of fix him up with one of the scouts.
Yep.
It is something everybody's been talking about.
Yeah, that's great.
So Willa, can you just keep us up to date on the progress of that? Please?
Yeah, well, I'm just waiting for the scout was gonna come to the town board meeting, I guess, last
I think
month,
it was,
and then he couldn't.
yeah, he couldn't make
Yeah.
it.
So as soon as Joey tells me his availability, Jim and he will connect.
Okay,
And Brandon, I got a few more things if you give me a minute
sure, bud.
on the new business. Just so everybody knows, the community center is closed to outside groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, anybody wants to rent it until further notice because of the uptick in the COVID. We want to try to keep everybody safe as we can. And I believe the senior center is only open to the seniors and no outside groups at the senior center also. Another thing is I'm trying to work with the school. I'm working with Paul Burke to do some lifeguard classes at the school's pool because we're gonna need some lifeguards. So I'm working with them. I called the lady today. I gotta go on their portal, fill out some paperwork, and hopefully we get some dates that we could do a lifeguard class and we can get our 25 extra lifeguards for next year. So I'm just letting you guys know that. I'll keep you abreast of where our progress is, but I talked to the lady today and Paul Burke's willing to do it for us. So if we can get that going, that'll help us tremendously because he can certify the lifeguards over there. So that'd be great for us. Brad, would you like to talk about the meeting we had with the pool? Kind of what was discussed and what plans the guys got going forward? Because we had a meeting last week with the pool, with the engineer, with Mainline, and the village mayor came, the highway supervisor, the water department, Jason came, and the buildings and grounds guys. So Brad, if you could just give a little something.
Yeah, so as far as the pool, right now, they're gonna try to work through the end of the month. Obviously, weather is a big factor there. They're trying to get the stainless steel gutters installed before they basically shut down for the winter. They're trying to get back here in March. But again, that's all dependent on weather. Things seem to be going fairly good. We're keeping up with the timeline. It's going to be tight for Memorial Day. And really that's going to come down to whether we have grass or sod and if it's, taking root. Because I know when the pool opened 10 years ago, it was basically all mud and all that mud ended up in the pool. So we'd like to avoid that repeat because that's a lot of vacuuming. It's a big pool to vacuum. But as of right now, the pool engineers seem pretty confident that they're going to be able to get it open on time. Does anybody have any questions about the pool? All right.
Thank you for the update.
And one other thing, I'm sorry, Brandon, one other thing
Go ahead.
is, they are working on, and getting a price to install the new roof, for the pavilion at the pool. Take the old asbestos roof off and put a metal roof on. That there and at the ball field, that little garage up at the ball field. They got some preliminary numbers, and I think by the end of the month, the town will look at some hard numbers, and they might move forward to getting that done also, so we can have the pool plus a brand new pavilion, and it would look, tremendous. The buildings and grounds guys will be working on. We cleaned out the lifeguards where they used to go with the bathroom there. That's all cleaned out, and come the spring, we're gonna make 2 changing rooms, do the bathroom, fix the bathroom up, and the rest will be all open for arts and crafts and stuff. So we got some plans coming up, but that's kind of where we're at with the new stuff. I just want to make sure, because I'm sorry, I just keep thinking of things.
No, that's fine,
But,
Joey.
But
And listen,
that's where we're at, so.
I think we can all agree, we'd rather have, something beautiful and not rushed. I mean, if it takes a little bit longer, I think, it'd be worth it. I know it's gonna be worth it. I know it's gonna be gorgeous. And it's gonna be someplace that people can go for years and years and years and years with their families and enjoy. So whatever it takes, in my personal opinion.
That, I think that's all I got, I promise, so I'm done.
Okay. Mike, did you have anything you wanted to add? I know you got cut off there. You all set?
I'm sorry, Mike,
Brad?
sorry, Mike.
No, that's all right. Brad, anything, bud?
No, I'm good right now. Thank you.
Willa?
Nope.
Phil?
I'm good, thank you.
Marty?
I'm good.
So we got some ideas. I think it's important. I know that there's already events that are preset that we do at throughout the parks and the recreation throughout the year. Joey, I'd like to meet with you at some point and just kind of get an idea, so that when people come up with all these ideas and people approach the meetings, and they want to fill out one of those forms with something that they have, we'll
Mhm.
already know. All committee members will already know exactly what events are going on for that month. Again, information. Informed. That's where we can inform the public.
Just
So
rem-
Go
Just
ahead.
remember, every program, whatever you guys decide, that's fantastic. But every program comes with we got to know the monetary value of the program.
yeah,
Because, I mean,
absolutely.
we do have a budget, but that budget goes pretty quick, especially when we have like things that like the ball drop, that comes out of that budget. Some money comes out of that budget for other things that we do during the season, the bands and stuff, which of course last year with COVID, hopefully this year will be a lot different. After this maybe goes through the system, the
Fingers
variant.
crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything's gotta have a monetary value, so we know kind of where we're at. That's all.
Can I ask you a question, Joey?
Yes, ma'am.
With those ideas on the basketball tournaments and the
Mhm.
Summer Olympics, that in itself, would probably cost us absolutely nothing, because we can figure out what the cost is for all of the referees. I said umpires, referees.
Mhm.
It might be an umpire if it's baseball.
For the uniforms, and then charge the kids accordingly and try to keep it as low cost as possible. But we can do that, right? Charge
Yeah,
a fee,
yes, you
and so that
can.
it can cover that. Okay, perfect.
No problem.
Yeah, perfect. And Mike, we should sit down if that's okay, so that we can try to figure that stuff out, with Big Pablo while Little Pablo's in school.
You let me know when, I'll be more than happy to sit down with you. That'd be great.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining.
No,
Hold on, we
whoa. You got Denise.
I got it.
Denise.
Public comment and
There you go.
discussion. Public comment. We'll put it out to the public. I had the paper flipped over. We'll put it out to the public for public comment and discussion.
Thanks. This is Denise Acuna. I wanted to wish best of luck to the new members of your committee, Mike and Brad, and to the overall new team. Secondly, I wanted to mention that some of the responsibilities that Martha was talking about, there's also within the town ordinance, and Joey, I don't know if it's being updated by the new town board, but some of the responsibilities of the committee should be in the town ordinance. And another thing I wanted to mention was the community garden. Also reach out to the scouts. It could be a good Eagle Scout or Girl Scout Gold Award project.
Oh,
Not just physically doing it, it's just organizing it or organizing volunteers. With the Olympics idea, as Joey, you know, the lifeguards are a great tool. Programs they used to do for field day at the pond, which we haven't had, I guess, in a few years, or even Kids Day. So if you can recruit some of the lifeguards to help you out with the Olympics, if that is a program that you're going to go with. And just in general, I know Martha had a comment about maybe charging some of the participants for a tournament. For the parks in the past, we usually try not to charge residents. So we usually try to do something that doesn't involve a fee. So that would be the suggestion. First, try to do something that doesn't involve a fee. Just something to think about. And then just overall, I trust you guys will continue or expand the opportunity for public input. I think you got a lot of input from the public, and in the past, one time it was down to 1 minute, which was ridiculous. And then I think it was bumped up to 3 minutes, but I think you can get a lot of input from the community that's helpful. And that's it for me for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. I see a Mary down there. Mary? No Mary. Anybody else from the public? I think that I just saw Denise and Mary. Okay. All right, so I guess we'll make a motion, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
I just have one question off of what Denise was saying about getting public input. Is there a way to maybe put something out there every so often? Maybe we come up with, say, 3 of our best ideas and just say to the public, which one of these ideas would you like, to really try to, get the public's feel on what they want?
Mike, I think that's a great question. And again, like I alluded to earlier, I think that we should really start utilizing the Facebook page a little bit more. And also the email, the constant contact that we have through the parks. I think that's something that, not only can be used for that, for getting public feedback. I don't know if Joey, if you use that even, for the looking for lifeguards or the counselors. I don't know if you guys use that to reach
All the
out.
time.
Okay. So we have the tools, Mike, you know what I mean? We have these tools, and I think it's just about really harnessing them and pointing them in the right direction and using them well. So again, I'll be sending out information, and I want to keep the lines of communication open. So, we have this information. Let's get it out. Let's get it out to the public.
Agreed.
Anybody else? Okay. All right, so I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
I was making that.
All right, Willow with the first, anyone with the second?
I'll second.
Mike with the second, all in favor?
aye.
Like,
All right,
When's
ladies and
when's
gentlemen,
the next meeting?
the third Tuesday of every month,
Well,
7:30.
At what date is that?
You're gonna make me look at my calendar, Joe?
I'm just kind of breaking your top.
15th,
That's
it's
all.
the 15th.
Yeah, February
Thank
15th.
you. It's the-
February
it's the-
15th,
Thank you, Brandon.
7:30. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Mr.
much.
Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, listen, I can only get better, right, Joe?
Yeah,
You're gonna
that's
teach
it.
me a lot.
Yes.
All right, yeah, we'll let everybody know whether it'll be virtual or in person by that time, right, Joe?
Yeah, it's again, well, they're saying by February, this should be past us again, and maybe we'll have back to normalcy, some kind of normalcy. Never be normal, but we'll see.
With God's
Yes.
blessings, with God's blessings. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
All right,
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.